Hello and welcome to another Starcraft 2 commentary video with me, Jabbar, and this is going to be a Protoss versus Terran on Backwater Gulch. I haven't done a Protoss versus Terran in a little while, so thought I'd make another video, and I've been trying to switch up my style in Protoss versus Terran and using a lot more High Templar, and it's a lot of fun. I really love it. I recommend it, and I'll show it off to you here. So I'm still kind of, in the infancy of developing this build, but it seems to be working out okay. So yeah, let's just walk through it. Typically I do a 2-gate robo opening against Terran. The 1-gate expands are good, but they're really risky, and I've been finding that it can hold just about everything except that it can't hold a Marine SCV all in, because you to defend against everything else you stay kind of low gas, and you really need sentries to deal with that, in my opinion. So I just don't bother, because if Terran scouts a 1-rack expand or 1-gate expand, he can pull all his SCVs and make Marines, and it's almost impossible to defend. Anyway, so I'm favoring a more safe opening at this point. Now we're just scouting out our opponent. Let's take a look at my vision. What am I going to see? I see the barracks, I see a gas, and I see no second gas yet. So I'm going to steal it. And the reason I'm stealing the gas is because it basically limits Terran's options. He can't go for a very fast Cloak Banshee right now. Any factory play is going to be a little delayed. If he isn't intending to go for those, and in this case he's going to be making Marauders and doing a bio expand, then no big deal. It's kind of a waste of money, but it gives me peace of mind. I don't really have to prepare that much against Cloak Banshees. I can definitively say that they won't come very quickly, and that helps me a lot. So just getting the Zealot, and then I'm going to get Stalker, I think. Not putting guys in this gas, that's a bit of a mistake, of course. Don't see anything with this gas geyser, but you don't usually see it. There's a Stalker coming up. In case, I guess there's a little bit arguable, and opinions will vary on this, but the first units to make out of your gateways against Terran. A lot of people will make a Zealot Sentry to be super duper safe against early Marauder concussive shell attacks, or SCV all-ins, in fact. Personally, I like Zealot Stalker Sentry, because Reapers can be very annoying if you only have a Sentry, and the Stalker denies scouting a little better, and you can get the Sentry in time for any bio attacks anyway. So he is destroying this gas, and I can see what he's using to destroy the gas, so that's another helpful thing. And I noticed that he was delayed in destroying it, so I really felt pretty safe against any fast teching. And I saw only a couple Marauders. This command center, I basically realized he was doing that. So here's the robo a bit later than ordinary, because I know that there are no fast Banshees. I don't need to get the robo very quickly. Terran is, of course, making more barracks, getting a reactor, everything totally standard. And I need to expand very shortly, but of course I don't know for a fact that he is expanded yet, so that's a bit of an issue. And I have this probe down here. I always try and leave a probe down by the expansion of Terran so I can see the moment he does expand. And here it goes down. And at this point, I placed my expansion down. I'm going to go check the front and see what he's up to. So I see bio. decent amount. If I had seen like some kind of huge amount of units, I probably would cancel this expansion, but as it is, I feel pretty comfortable holding that. I've got sentries and zealots, and if he does attack, I feel pretty safe right now. Of course, Terran has expanded. If he hadn't, he'd have, 4 more marauders or something like that. But by the time he gets over here, I still feel fairly safe. I do have 3 gateways up and running. I've got an immortal coming. And this immortal is precautionary because I am not 100% sure he's expanded. If he is all-inning, then I do want a little protection, but I feel confident I can hold it even if I can hold my expansion even if he is. So if you look at the unit count, I'm a little ahead on the workers because of Chrono Boost, but he has a mule, so we're about even, I'd say. Yeah. Now my observer coming out. Terran is doing everything pretty ordinary, getting that +1 weapons, getting the factory. So what's going to come up next in my build? This is looking really standard right now, and if I were doing a Colossus build, I'd probably plop down the Robotics Bay right about now. But what am I going to do instead? Well, we will see very shortly. Can't remember when I exactly put down the building, but yeah, Terran's just making a starport. Okay, here we go. Forge as soon as I expand. A lot of people, when they're going for a Templar type build or for mass gateway, they'll go for double forge. I have to be honest, I think that's a little flimsy. It's pretty strong, but Terran can just go double upgrades himself, and he's not in bad shape at all. Instead, what I like to do, and I believe I first saw Tester, aka what's his new name? I should know this. Anyway, Forge Twilight at about the same time after you expand. Geez, what is Tester's new ID? It was SKS, and then it was Trickster, that's it, TSL Trickster. So, yeah, this is a build that I saw him do, although he used this as a transition into late Colossus. Basically what you do is go for fast armor and go for fast charge. So I'm on I go 3-gate Robo to open, because that's the safest opening against Terran. After that, as soon as I have the money, I throw down a Forge and Twilight Council, and I research armor and Zealot legs. I get mostly Zealots and Sentries at this point, only very few Stalkers. Of course, if he's going heavy Marines or something, I'll get more Stalkers, but at this point, that's not what's happening, and I feel pretty good about it. So Terran has scanned this, and you know what? I'm not actually sure if he did see the Templar Archives of the Twilight Council. I'm gonna go back and check that. All right, gonna wind up just a little bit. All right. Well, Terran scanned all this. And apparently he saw enough to build a Ghost Academy. I'll fast forward a little bit to catch up. Alright, so yeah, he saw enough that he knew to build a Ghost Academy. I'm not sure exactly what he saw, but I assume he did see the Twilight Council going down. Anyway. And then as soon as I have the gas for it, I'm making a Templar Archives. And I'm saving gas by making Zealots, which, of course, fits in with my Zealot charge pretty nicely. And I'm getting gas here, with a bit of a miss rally on the gas geysers, but no big deal. And I'm going to make more observers, because this Robotics Bay isn't really doing anything. I could make immortals from it, but observers are really nice. And, at this point, I should be worried about Terran drops, and observers help you spot those. So Templar Archives is up. I'm going to research Storm as soon as I can. Charge is about to finish, and once charge finishes, you are really, really safe. Like, let's think right now. If Terran attacked me with this, I force field. I've got all these charge zealots. I'm gonna win that engagement. He can't attack right now. So I research Storm. I'm moving to take a 4th base. There it is. And I take that 4th because charge and armor 1 just finished, and I'm feeling very safe. Terran also goes for his next base. Pretty nice timing. And he does scan, of course, the Templar Archives at this point. So I'm getting armor 2. You could argue going for armor, then attack, then armor, then attack. But I like to sort of go armor, armor, attack. Because the main damage dealers is going to be Storm in this army, and I just like my Zealots to survive forever. More observers. Storm is finished. I'm getting Templar. And even though there's no Kadaran Amulet, it doesn't take that long for Templar to get enough energy to Storm. It's not like a big deal. I feel like a lot of players overreacted when they got rid of Kadaran Amulet and just sort of stopped using Templar and thought, oh well, Templars are useless now. But, you know, Storm is still really good, and you get enough Templar, they're gonna do great damage. And besides which, we just got an awesome Archon buff. And Templar with spent energy aren't really expendable anymore. They used to be. But instead, you can just make Archons, and Archons are really strong. So, you know, I can see this. I can see everything that's happening with his army. I see his upgrades. We both got our 3rd bases coming down. And now, I'm going to just sort of flood gateways. When you're doing this style and you're making mostly Zealots, that's a really cheap unit that's really good. It's not really that supply efficient, but it's super cost efficient, especially against bio. So what I'm doing is I have the ability to make a ton of gateways and replenish my army almost instantly. It's kind of Zerg-like in that fashion. Now at this point, I'm actually getting my Robotics Bay, because late game I can transition into Colossus, and Terran's going to have very little or no Vikings, and I'm just going to be in awesome shape after that transition. So that's my late game plan. You can see I've got good observer coverage. I'm watching for drops. And he is actually going to drop this base on the top left. And I'm going to be moving out right about now because I'm just about to max. Terran's about to max too, which is pretty fine. So you can see all the gateways. I mean, that's a lot of gateways, man. So I can just replenish my army instantly. He gets a nice EMP on my sentries there, actually. But yeah, he doesn't really have enough. The storm's going down on my own Zealots because he's kiting. This is a good storm, or I'd say this is good micro from my opponent, bad storms on my part. But to be fair, there was a little bit of lag. So he kites. My Zealots are mostly dead because of my own storms, but as soon as he stops moving to actually attack, and I'm going to run him into a corner here eventually with all my Zealots, as soon as he stops moving and engages, the storms are going to rip him apart. That's really my ultimate goal here. You know, force fields are good to stop him from kiting as well. You can force field. Now I'm just storming the SCVs because that's awesome. But yeah, my ultimate goal is to send Zealots at him, have him kite them into a corner, and then once he can't kite them anymore, I'm just going to storm. And the armor upgrades facilitate that as well. So Terran's going to drop up here, and kind of a last-ditch effort. He probably, well, I'm sure he knows I have more bases, but check this out. I can just replenish with like 8 Zealots immediately, and what's he going to do? He's trying to snipe this Nexus, but he just can't. Oh look, more reinforcements. Like, I just feed back the medevac. I'm in awesome shape. Meanwhile, I'm storming again. Got Archons, just crushing him. And I do want to note that the Stalkers actually add quite a bit of DPS to this army, because when he's attacking the Zealots, and the Zealots take forever to die, as you notice, with their 2 armor, when he's kiting those Zealots, the Stalkers are always doing damage all the time. And they're faster than the bio that's kiting, so the Stalkers are doing damage. The Archons are going to do damage. And once he stops kiting the Zealots, the Storms are going to do damage. And, you know, when the Zealot count gets low, I'm replenishing with a bazillion of them, because I've got so many gateways. And then I'm going to, you know, if this attack like didn't quite work, I've got the support bay. I've got Colossus incoming in the future, and of course I'm also going to be taking another base. There's a base, and there's a base. So yeah, I can just mass expand, and well, it's not so good, but yeah, I can just sort of mass expand, and I'm in amazing shape. I would probably get Blink eventually too. There's no reason not to, but this attack was kind of timed and all in, and it worked. So that's how I'm playing Protoss vs. Terran right now. And thank you very much for watching. Go and make some High Templar.